Hi, everybody. Welcome to our live stream. I'm Lauren Ramanzi, the co-founder of Hold It, and our mission here is to create a community for sharing ideas and knowledge in a safe space through interactive live streams and Q&A, with the main focus of focusing on human connections. So here today on our live stream, we'll be talking about startup accelerators with the amazing Shanna Greathouse of Piggyback, who's going to talk about her experience throughout. So I'm going to invite her on now. If you've seen any of our other live streams, you may have seen her before. She's really smart. She's been through a lot, and I'm excited to hear about her experiences and share some of my own as well. Hi.
How are you?
Good. Good to see you.
You too. Awesome day. Beautiful day in Cleveland.
You look very nice.
Thank you. Put on my summer outfits. So
I know. I'm excited. I have the no sleeves on. I think the last time we were in sweaters, so I'm very excited.
Yeah. I'm excited to be here too and dive in. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So you have been through a few accelerators, right? You've been through
7 or 8. I think 8
Whoa.
is next week. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So let's jump in. So accelerators. So some people get confused between accelerators and incubators. So let's start with that. So what is the difference between the two?
So incubator is kind of what it sounds like. You're a really small, you're at infancy stage, you're looking to grow the idea, come up with product market fit. Well, you can do product market fit later in accelerator too, but you're testing the market, validating your idea. And then an accelerator is really toward taking that idea to market and scaling it as well.
Okay, very cool. So I know you've been through a few accelerators. Do they offer different things? Because I kind of went through an existing business version of one through the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses, and we can talk about that a little bit later, but that was through all ACEs, and I know that accelerators tend to be more for startups. So, is there a difference between all the different ones that you've gone to?
There are different specializations, I would say. I've been through, for example, National Science Foundation. I've been through actually 2 rounds of the I-Corps program, and that's really about validating the idea. They're really tailored or customized for graduate students who are also doing research. So they go into the very, very, very basics and then expand from there. I went through it twice so that I could get forced to talk to people because I am more introverted. So it was a way to, there's grant money at the end, like a small amount for the I-Corps program, but it forces you to talk to, I think by the end of the program, it was like 120 people. So it's a great motivator.
Okay.
I've been running other accelerators that are just focused on one aspect. So Jumpstart has, which is a Cleveland VC fund. They have one specifically for digital marketing, which is not something I've really been in before. So that was really helpful, going through everything from SEO to video editing to content scheduling. We have a question. What's the ideal time?
Let's see. What is the ideal time for you to go to the accelerator route with your startup? Do you need to be VC funded, or is it when you have a production version of your idea that is already in the market?
Yeah, I would say for accelerators, it's good to have an MVP. And the MVP doesn't have to be, it can be manual. I say that for like applications. If you have a proof of concept that is more, I'm manually coordinating people. So for Piggyback, the example would be if we had gone this route, we could have manually gone door to door, talking with neighbors, and then bundled that way and then presented them to contractors. That's a good enough MVP, I would say, to go to an accelerator. And then from there, a lot of the accelerators have coders on hand. So like
that's nice.
Yeah, part of the perks, like for example, Jumpstart just rolled out a software accelerator, and they're doing in-kind funding for actually building out MVPs. So
okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't
Okay.
have to be as fully baked as you would think. Certainly not VC funded. A lot of people use accelerators as a way to get initial funding, especially if they don't have a deep network for friends and family rounds or angels.
Sure. So when you go through accelerators, you have to give up equity, right? Or how does it work? Or
Not
does it?
necessarily. It depends on the accelerator. Some require it, some don't. Like one of the accelerators we're actually talking to now, so we might be on to number 9, is what you get. You do give up a portion of equity, but they serve as a matchmaker with investors while also having you go through some kind of a business plan refinement session with them.
Okay. Yeah, because I was reading that, obviously, in the past I've researched accelerators, just in general. We've thought about doing it for Poldit at some point, and I did read that it seems like almost all of them do have some sort of like an equity type of a thing. Now, is that certain types of accelerators, or is it just unique to the accelerator itself, maybe?
It's unique to the accelerators. A lot of them are funded through like the Economic Development Fund.
Mm-hmm.
So then they're getting government funds to stimulate the economy, and they get funded based on, their output, essentially, how engaged they are with the entrepreneurs, what kind of services they're providing. So the accelerator becomes an extension of that, and it locks in they're getting paid for it too. Like the funding also includes their salaries. So Jumpstart for a long time was that way. We're like for the digital accelerator that I did, digital marketing, it was 7 or 8 weeks. I had great consultants that came in every week and proctored it, and there was no equity involved, and there was no initial payment either.
Okay. Oh, very cool. So the goal of accelerators then is to help you expand your idea and to also get funded. Is that correct? Or to at least help you put you in front of investors? Like that's something where like I've kind of seen different things from different accelerators. So so tell us a little bit more about that.
It depends on what the accelerator you choose. The one I'm finishing up right now is through Sea Change. It's for social enterprises. It's a really great one. It is actually nationwide, so encourage anyone to take a look at it. Once you need it, it's a lot of repeat curriculum from every other accelerator I've been in, and it doesn't necessarily match you with investors, though at the end there's like a pitch summit that they host.
Okay.
So that there are investors that are invited, so you could, in theory, there. But for me, it was more about understanding the requirements to confidently say that you're a social enterprise and you're a en route to become a B Corp certification. For us is what we're looking for in the future. So how rigorous the KPIs have to be. What kind of statistical modeling do you have to do to establish a baseline, if any? And so that was why I chose that one. But other accelerators, they'll match you with investors. There's one I'm doing next week where that's the goal.
Okay. Yeah. So I was going to say, so I know there are a lot out there, and I've heard there are kind of some scammy ones too that you really have to look out for, that some of them are just not necessarily worth the time in the association. So, so when you have gone through these and whatnot, what process did you use to vet them?
So it's really easy to get really hyped up when you get into them. I would say I had been a founder for like 2.5 months. I went through a process with an accelerator that is a TV show, which I wasn't thrilled with.
Oh yeah? Which one?
I don't want to say it because I don't
I want to watch you. We're going to listen to you, Shana.
No, I didn't actually do it. I didn't. So I decided against it because it did come across as a bit scammy.
More for the
an interview
value, right?
Yeah. It was to take place as it was a mix of tech plus mostly small businesses, so more like the Goldman Sachs kind of oriented model for the small businesses, which was the first thing. I think you should go toward an accelerator that complements your niche, and it was a competition, but then there wasn't actual prize money at the end. And then you could only stream it through their app. or on Facebook, whenever I Googled, like I did the search and Meta for it, it like didn't come up. So I'm like, and you paid money to participate.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
because
there's all kinds of red flags there.
Yeah.
You said like 3 different. Well, the lodging makes sense, right? I guess. But I don't know.
Go to
If it's a
Oklahoma
TV
with
show,
a bunch of strangers for like 2 weeks.
I mean, it seems like the real world of like
accelerators. We'll talk later because there's a tie.
And there you go. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I was like, I don't think about this one. So I passed on that one. So yeah, I think you have to ask a lot of questions, see what you're actually getting out of it at the end. Look at who their past cohorts have been, and if it's a really new accelerator, make sure that they're not trying to stick you with their startup fees to get the accelerator going.
Yeah, and I've never heard of that before. That's actually interesting. Of someone paying you a fee, because isn't the whole point that they're trying to help you get money because they know that you're a startup with no money, right? Like, isn't that the whole purpose of having the accelerator?
It doesn't connect with people. At least that's what I found based on the hundreds of outreach from LinkedIn I get every single month asking for me to pay them to do something like generate revenue. And I'm like, don't you connect with startup pre-seed with people don't connect with us.
Yeah, no, exactly. It seems like it defeats the entire purpose. It's like you're reaching out to the wrong audience if you're trying to find someone to pay you money. Like somebody with a startup doesn't have money to give you. They're trying to accelerate their business in order to do that. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. So also just like I'm gonna take a quick break for anybody. If you have any questions or if you wanna come on join us on the panel to to share any insights or ask questions. You can raise your hand or ask questions in the Q&A, or of course just BS and chat with each other in the chat now and afterwards. So just throwing that out there if you want to join us up here. We're not going to charge you.
Maybe you'll get paid in equity,
right? Unlike the real world of accelerators.
Yeah, I will tell you about that one. Like they had me until they're like, and it's in Oklahoma, and I'm like, not paying $4,000 to be in Oklahoma with a bunch of strangers.
So the application process. Oh, you know what? It's funny. So I feel like so Sami's Mail just asked a question which I think might be similar to what I had just asked. So how do these accelerators decide which startups to onboard to help them? I think they're asking how do they choose, and that kind of goes along with tips for the application process. So let's start with the question.
So it depends on the accelerator.
Right.
Just so you know, Y Combinator is the gold standard, and they're harder to get in than all of the Ivy League schools combined. And my mentor went through the application process to actually be flown out there and interview, and it was wild. He said for the people that actually did make it, so he flew with his co-founders to San Francisco and completely paid for by the Y Combinator.
Oh, wow.
Food, lodging, whole 9 yards. He was there. They had a decision with him within the day. I want to say
that's good.
In a couple of hours. They're looking for polished. If you're looking at Y Combinator, it's like polished.
Yes.
Pedigree, connections, industry knowledge, secret sauce, and scalability. I was just reading the other day that there's a really large percentage, and I should find this, I'll put it in the chat afterward, of I think the vast majority of the people who do make it onto Y Combinator work in one of the FANG companies. So FANG is, I'm trying to remember, it's Facebook, Alphabet, I always forget the other. Is there another A or is it one A? No, probably Amazon's on there, I would assume.
Amazon, Nvidia, and so G is, it wouldn't be Google's, that's Alphabet, right?
Yeah.
I forget what the G is, but yeah, I hear that that you have to work for one of those, live in San Francisco, have the tech background, come from a good school, or at least drop out of one, that's
yeah, the drop
or
out
something.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a shame.
And
Netflix, yes. Netflix, thank you. Yes, Netflix, that's good. Although now it probably would be NVIDIA over Netflix, but
Oh, Netflix. Got it. Yeah.
it definitely wasn't Netflix. So like it's funny. I've heard some, people kind of having beef. I don't know if it's just hating beef or whatnot, but I know Techstars is really coming up in a national way. They're opening up incubators in different places.
Yeah, they just opened, and I interviewed with Gabby down in Cincinnati through a referral. So thank you, Cindy, for that. So we're still waiting to find out, but they closed, I think, the Detroit one, but they opened the Cincinnati one, and they shifted people from Toronto down to cover that one. So they are opening up in new markets. Techstars is, I would say, like next after Y Combinator. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Those are the two main ones that I've heard of. And Techstars is definitely up and coming. And I do know it does seem to cater more to females because Y Combinator historically is very, and this isn't meant to be like a woman like type of a conversation here, but it is the fact that Y Combinator is the percentage of women without a male co-founder is very low. So I feel like Techstars is a little bit more accessible and diverse.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And one of the perks that you get is you get AWS credits, you get, there's a lot of other things that come with it. So it's not just like the monetary thing, which Y Combinator, I think, just upped the amount that they're paying out at the end.
Okay.
It's also all the in-kind services and perks and things that you get along with it, which are very helpful. Is there something else?
Very cool. Let's see.
Oh, no, that one's like 13 minutes ago.
What are some ways, here we go, what are some ways to make your business or startup idea stands out to get the attention of accelerators or incubators?
It has to be novel, or have a lot of traction.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do you think it has to have a lot of traction at the onset or have the potential for a lot of traction? Because I know scalability is obviously a big factor, I would think.
Yeah, it depends on the accelerator. I think for like a Techstars, it would be traction. Just because the competition is so high. But if you go to local accelerators, like I keep falling back on Jumpstart, but there are other ones in the Cleveland area too. It can be the potential as well. Also, belief in the founder's passion, how the founder presents really goes a long way, just like with pitch competitions. I mean, a lot of times the accelerator application process, you submit a pitch deck, you answer a bunch of questions, and then about 50% of the time they require a founder video. So you're pitching anyways. So presence goes a long way as well.
Yeah, I would think that the video is probably the make or break for any application, because ultimately people can be very good at putting things down, and I come from the world of experiential marketing and event